potential employees, but you guys have a vast network amongst you all, so we are relying on you to help them out and be active participants in that. For that, I want to thank you all. I also want to thank my co-organizers, Daniel Whitelove, Murray and Bowers, and those who are not with us today. They're here in spirit: John Morrow, Ruben Pressman, and Richard Wood. I would especially like to thank Hella Coffee, who's generously donated the delicious manna from which we all drink. And I would encourage you, if you know anybody who you think would be great out here, to head to 1millioncups.com/St. Pete and apply to present. We would love to see the cool companies that are being built here. Our first presenter this morning is Pedal Pub. You may have seen it around the streets of St. Pete. It's a pretty cool concept, and we're here.
Hi everyone, my name is Krista. I'm the manager of Pedal Pub. Hopefully you've heard of us by now. If not, I am happy to educate you all beyond maybe what you've already known about Pedal Pub. So, my name is Krista again. Let's see here. The Pedal Pub started in. Let's see, this work example. This is my one here. There it is. In 2006, two guys up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, were part of a beer club, and somebody sent them a link to a picture of this bike over in Amsterdam, operating on the streets. And so somebody in the beer club said, hey, we should get that for our home brewers club, right? And so this kind of funny things sort of spurted, and then two guys said, no, actually we should go get that. So nobody had been doing it before in the US, so they flew over and met with the owners and the builders of these bikes. They're called the Fights Cafe bike. They're made over in Amsterdam. So they flew over, signed a contract. They are now the importers for these bikes. So it is the original worldwide party bike that's used everywhere across the world. They're happy to bring them into the US. After they brought them in, other people started seeing them, of course, and so we've grown to about 32 or 34 cities now, something like that. It's not franchised, so they all have different names, so they're licensees of the business plan. So it's a little bit trickier to find them just because they have different names in every city. But you could just kind of search party bikes or go to pedalpub.com and you'll see a geographical map of all of our licensees everywhere. I'm from Minnesota. They were everywhere. I wanted to move to Florida. I said, wow, you guys should really put a bike in Florida. And they said, I think that's a good idea too. So they sent me 2 bikes. I started working with the city in 2011. It took about 11 months to get licensing, but we're happy to be here. And we started in December of 2011. The reason I'm here today is because recently we've had an ordinance change, which I've been diligently working on, that allows people now to bring their own beer and wine on board. That was not the case before. Just now, recently, about 3 weeks ago or so, you're able to bring your own beer and wine, malt beverages, no hard liquor, and no glass. And so we've been able to reconnect our tap on board, and you can even bring a small 5-gallon keg from a local brewery or something if you'd like. So it's sort of a new beginning for us, sort of a new page. So I wanted to come and chat with you all and maybe open up your mind about what the Pedal Pub is and what we can do. So we bring groups of at least 8 people. To get the bike going, we need at least 8. We fit up to 16 people. And we usually do 2-hour tours. There's 2 ways to join us on a 2-hour tour. You do either a private tour, where you bring your own corporate group or your own friend group or whatever it is out to join us. Or you can join us on a public tour on Friday and Saturdays at 6:30, where you can just buy 1 seat at a time and join us. If there's just a group of 3 or 4 of you that wants to come out, we put a bunch of groups of 3 or 4 together and head out on the street. So we run from 10 a.m. to midnight here, and you can now bring your own beer and wine on board. So this is kind of what it looks like if you haven't seen it yet. You all sit facing inside, and there's a pilot that steers in the middle, which is usually myself, or I have 3 staff now that get you around where you want to go. There's a bench on the back that can fit 3 people, and a person in the center can also stand in the middle. You see somebody here, hand out drinks, do a little dance for you, whatever. So some other important facts, it's about 8'6" high, so 2,000 pounds. It's like an SUV. I mean, it's a huge thing. And our target market group is mostly corporate groups. We do a lot of corporate groups. We do a lot of bachelorette parties. That's probably like our second biggest one. And a lot of birthday parties, of course. Nationally, our average age renter is 36. But interestingly, in St. Pete, our average age renter is 54. So, so don't let that scare you off. Anybody? So what brings me here today, we are actively always looking for partners with other businesses. I opened this in 2011. I left for about a year to open another branch in Rochester, Minnesota, and then came back in January of this year. And when I opened up there, I actually won the Blue Ribbon Small Business Award from the U.S. Chamber, which recognizes businesses that really actively, network and connect other businesses, which is what we do. I mean, we rely on other businesses for our business. So we bring people in for the attraction of the pedal pump, something quirky, fun to do, but we are actively touring the city, taking advantage of all of the cool energy that's happening down here, from arts and murals to restaurants and bars to the waterfront. We're there. So we got a national recognition, which is a big deal. I want to talk a little bit about maybe thinking outside the box instead of just being a pub crawl. We do a lot of other things. I'll show you in a minute. Of course, we always want to develop and expand our customer base. We have been used for fundraising options. People have done 24-hour pedals on us, and can raise money that way. Or we've done races here. I'll show you in a minute. So like pedal races up in Minneapolis. They take the 2 bikes and they coordinate teams, and they pay an entry fee. And so it can be a fundraiser. This is in Nashville, Party Down South, which is like a reality TV show. Wrote it to the CMT Awards, so you can see like this huge crowd around the CMT Awards. This is Duck Dynasty on theirs in Nashville. Duck Dynasty, also a big reality show with Kelly Pickler in the middle. This is in Austin, Texas. So Yahoo came out and did a tour. Look at this. Miami even did a public tour there, publicizing Come Visit Miami in Austin. So I'll just leave this one up. This is a group here. You probably know some of these people actually that did a tacky tourist party. You can think of some other ideas and other uses for it. We'd be happy to have you. And then one of our employees always drives and stays sober.
Where do you go for the 2 hours here?
Great question. Where do we go? We are currently housed right by Red Mesa Cantina. So we typically start our tours in that area. And then we can go anywhere. Our most popular route is to do the local breweries. So most popularly we head west and stop at all of the breweries along that way. Of course, the other one is the waterfront, where we kind of head east and can go all along the waterfront area. But we go about 4 miles in our 2-hour tour. So as long as we start in that general area, kind of over by Publix, we can go anywhere.
I have an endorsement for you. My group of friends rented this for a 80s themed workout party. So all dressed up in 80s gear and did it. Now it is more difficult than you would think it would be to push that or pedal that 2,000-pound giant bicycle, but it's a really, really good time. We had an amazing time. So great products.
Building off of that notion of pedaling and drinking at the same time, and have you talked to the folks at Bionics who do pedal assist electric bikes here in St. Pete and have a pretty cool technology that would adjust based on the tension of the pedaler itself? And it seemed like if you could add on the ease of pedaling that more people would be apt to go, okay, now it's a lot easier. 'Cause I mean, I hear that a lot, is that it's hard to pedal. It's fun, but hard. So I was just thinking, man, Bionics is here in town. They've got a cool technology that's all their own that they slap on any kind of bike right now, and any of your bikes can use it.
I think that would be great. That would be a city question, because we might find ourselves in a whole new ordinance hoopla, because now we would be a motorized vehicle or
It's
something.
not a motor, it's still
So,
considered, yeah, they're still considered electric
It's,
bikes. So.
yeah, it's possible. I mean, it really just depends on our city ordinance and how that would fit, because right now we are non-motorized. Yeah.
You referred to the ordinance a couple of times. Does that ordinance only affect you? That's one question. And second is, how much is the cost for the whole thing?
Great. Yes, the city created a whole new ordinance to regulate pedal buses. So it's an 11-page ordinance for pedal bus regulation. So it only applies to us. And second one, great question. Sunday through Thursday, private rental is $325. Friday and Saturday is $385. If you join us on a public tour, that's a $30 seat. So if you get a full bike, it's anywhere between $21 to $23 per person, and a private tour, or $30 on those.
So you're growing. I'm not quite sure kind of the organizational structure back to the European connection, but why not build these in the States now and create some jobs in the States?
Good question. People have been building them in the States since we started importing them. And we just really like the old classic feel. No other bike, the barrel and the wood structure is trademarked. So no other bike in the world really is building this type of bike. There are others in the U.S., but we're certainly creating more jobs by having more bikes. You know, in Minneapolis, they're up to 13 bikes. So you can imagine how many tours they're doing and how much community support is getting out there. They're doing over 2,700 tours in a season, which is only about 5 months up there. If you imagine 2,700 tours times about 15 people on each tour, spending at least $40 in your city, it's a lot of revenue coming in.
Do you have a problem with other city ordinances, like if you want to do St. Pete Beach, wherever
I would have to start from the ground. I'd have to start making those phone calls. And really, right now, I want to work on growing St. Pete and see if we can get this one going. Now, the city has been so receptive and open and loosened their ordinance a little bit. We're ready to get rolling here, stronger.
Is there a minimum number of people that you have to have before you go on the tour? Because I can't imagine one person.
Yeah, you'd want at least 8 to keep it fun. You can move it. We have moved it with 3 or 4, but you are sweating.
Do you derive any revenue from co-marketing opportunities by taking your public tours to St. Pete restaurants and breweries, or co-advertising on the bikes?
Right, we haven't yet. So it's something that we would love to talk about with those people. We just, right now, want to get our tour numbers up, and so that those people would be able to see the benefit of